Working on the new 66 C10 shop truck. I just replaced this roll pan. It had one made out of a 2x10 on it. So actually they did a pretty nice job on. I hadn't even noticed it was wood until I got the truck home. I was unloading it off the trailer, and it's just got a set of junk roller tires on it for now. And this one had gone flat, and the bottom of this thing spiked into the ground and busted all the mud out. But anyway, see that plate? 1966. I replaced it with the Dynacorn roll pan steel. There's the part number if anybody's interested. Turned out pretty good here. One thing to mention on these Dynacorn, probably any other roll pans, is the bottom of the box side curves like this away. So you end up with a void here. And here's the template I used that I butt welded in there. This is 16 gauge steel, and so is the box. So I found some scrap that was heavy enough to use. But the purpose of this video here is we're gonna get to replacing on this bedwood. I got it all laid out there. Of course, these boards are 97 inches long, so an 8-footer just won't quite cut her. Story of my life, so. But yeah, we're gonna get this truck up in the air, get underneath there with the torch and start zapping heads off. I've got a new hardware and strip kit coming from Mark K. And let's get on with it. Well, while I was fumbling around trying to put a fire out up here with my water bottle, I must have laid the hose on the hot one. So, try this again. I was digging around and I found some more torch hoses laying around here. Looks like I can screw up 2 more times and still have a good one. So, let's try this again. Alright, so what I done here is torched pretty much all the perimeter bolts off, got the wheel tubs out, both sides. I tore a couple boards out that are really rotten, starting a nice gut pile over there. But now I'm gonna keep tearing boards out what I can get without pulling the strips up. And the reason I torch them bolts off is because I didn't want to char up or screw up the base of the box sides here. So I did it underneath, which really wasn't that fun, as you've probably seen from the time lapse. But we got it done regardless. So yeah, I'm gonna tear these boards out, and then I'm gonna take my angle grinder and just reach them underneath and nip the ones off that are connected to the cross members. Since these strips are toast, might be able to salvage one or two of them for a different truck, but for the most part they're junk. And yeah, I'll get the GoPro going again here, and you can watch me tear that out. Well, that was fun. I don't have the strips yet, or the hardware, so I'll bring you back when I get that stuff in. I'm going to leave those two little boards on the edge up front. I'll start in the center, work my way out, because them boards on the sides there would hold the box sides up where they need to be. So I'll bring you back when I got some more product here to continue. Although these Co-op Country Squire tires are pretty nice, I am absolutely digging this look. Some 15x8 6-hole Chevy Rallies that I fitted some Peterbilt center caps into. 275/60, 15 tires all the way around. That was my buddy at Untamed Powder Coating. Powder coated these white for me. Can't wait to get this thing outside and have a look at it. Well, when I got this truck, it was lowered. They achieved that by heating the coils and collapsing them. I love the stance, however, I did not love the ride. I kind of took... I went on Google and looked at a bunch of pictures, trying to figure out roughly how much this thing was lowered, and I settled on 4.6 drop. I've already got the rear springs installed here. That's a pretty straightforward ordeal. No need to take a video on that. I just supported the axle housing with my tranny jack and got the bolts out and swapped the springs. For some reason this shock was mounted upside down and it puked all its oil out, so got a replacement one for that. And I was gonna leave the front end on this thing alone. It seemed like it sat decent. They lowered it the same way by heating the coils and collapsing them here. But I got the rear done and set it on the ground and noticed it was leaning. See this in here, but this coil is broken. Oh, grab a bar here. Yeah, there you have it. So when you heat the coils up like that, it takes all the strength out of the spring and brittles it. So the next day I ordered a set of 4-inch drop coils for the front. These are both Western chassis springs, front and rear. So I'll blow this apart and get these front springs changed. Well, I feel like a total cheat. The thing I did was unbolt the shock and unhook that, or I popped that bump stop out that goes between the upper control arm and the spring perch, so I get it to droop out a little further. And I was able to fish that spring in there without taking anything else apart. I don't know if I get so lucky on the other side getting the old one out because it's not broken. Maybe I'll have to get the torch out and do a little surgery on it. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah! Alright, well that was entirely way too easy. I need my trans jack to jack the suspension up, put the bump stop back in, but yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Well, while I'm waiting for my hardware and strips to show up, I decided to clean up some of this little bit of rust that's starting on the front of the box sill here, and there's a little bit behind the wheel tubs. I'll show you on this side here. I haven't touched this side yet, but we're wheeling that crap off and treating it with ospho. I got some in the spray bottle there. Here's the gallon. Skyco ospho. This is a rust converter product and really works on bare steel good too. I stripped the Studebaker here, well, working on probably almost 3 years ago. And I mean, I leave the door open in the summertime when it's raining. It keeps the rust off. So, also going around and hammer and dolly the edge of the bed where the bolts go through, where it's distorted. Yeah, I'll get this side wire wheeled up. Oh, another thing to add, the ospho. I spray it on there and I let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I go with a shop rag and just wipe the excess off. If you don't, you can see where this white scaly crap is starting. If it's puddled up or pooling at all, it'll leave that white chalky crap. But I'll let this stuff sit for 12 hours and I'll just mist in some paint. I've got some left over from the roll pan, and I'll fade that into the rest of the box, just like nobody would even notice. Alright, 3 weeks later, we got the 66 back in here. Finally got my strips and hardware. Had my buddy at Untamed Powder Coating do the strips and the heads of the hardware. It's just a cheap galvanized bolt kit. He got them done for me quite hastily. Got 2 boards done already. Hopefully it comes out straight. She's got a little inner quality of Menard's lumber. Anyway, went over to the old man's and stole this table saw. Got the profile going on these boards. This is my practice here. Test piece. They got a double fence set up. You just send them on through there like that. And then when I get all them cuts made, I'll set up another fence, the width of the board, and lay it down and go that way and finish her off. This profile here, this isn't perfect, but it'll work. But the profile that you need for them boards, the grooves, can be found at GMC Paul's is the name of the website. I'll put a link up here. I'll get the time lapse going and you can watch me get the rest of these done. I got them all cut and laid in there. Had to knock the tires off it so I could get these sideboards laid in. I'll put the wheel tubs in and use those to mark my cuts. But, show you what I got going on here with these center caps. The Baby Moon Peterbilt. Road Pro 8.5 inch center cap. They're just held in by 3 1/4 inch plastic push darts. Drilled holes in the wheel. Here, here, and there. I'll post a link up to the gentleman's video that I learned that one from. I can't take credit for that. Yeah, I got my first side piece cut. Got my notch marked out for the corner here. Hopefully my garage sale jigsaw works. And we'll give her a go. we got us a fine mess going here now. All the boards are fitted the way I like them. I just quickly buzzed them all with some 60 grit on this palm sander and followed up with a 150. I'm not worried about the big dings and dents in these boards. Just wanted to get the rough grain kind of smoothed out. Mostly get all the pencil marks and fingerprints off them. Getting set up here. It's a little teaser of what it's gonna look like. This is I stole this from Chip Foose's C28 build he's got on YouTube. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It's one part low gloss black tractor paint. Put about up to this line in this jar with that tractor paint, and then the rest acetone. This makes a nice flat stain. Kind of makes it look old. I'll get all these boards laid out. Do all the back sides first. I'll probably do one more coat on these. Darken them up just a little bit, but that's looking pretty cool. Anyway, I'll get the time lapse going and get these boards stained up. It's a couple days later now. Got them all stained up. Pretty pleased with the outcome of these. That kind of a distressed or antique look. It's kind of what I was going for. I didn't want it to look like it was brand new. But, yeah, pleased with that. Now the next step, if I refer to Chip Foose's C28 build again, he used teak oil on his boards. The reason for using that in lieu of a varnish or a clear coat or anything like that is if you actually use your truck, it's going to get dinged up and dented right away, and you break through that poly or varnish and moisture gets underneath there and it just lifts it. You use oil and you can touch it up at any time, you know, with it installed in the truck. You just take a rag and wipe it down again and you're done. I'm using boiled linseed oil because that's what I've got laying around here. Should work just fine. I've already done the backside. I put a real wet, heavy coat on with a rag and let it sit for 5-10 minutes, and then took a dry rag and kind of evened out the surface. Um, I did that late at night, and then I came back the next morning, and you couldn't even tell I oiled it. So these boards are going to soak up quite a bit of oil before it's got enough in it. So yeah, I did another coat on the backside. You can see it's kind of drooled over to the front here a little bit. But yeah, I think it's going to turn out really good. I'll get started here and get the front side oiled up. Alright, this has been sitting on here for a good half hour now. Let her soak in decent. Now I'm just going to take a dry rag and smear around a bit. Bring you back and see what that looks like. It's looking nice. Alright, I slathered one more real wet, heavy coat of oil on this, and I left it sit for an hour before wiping it off with a clean rag. And liking how it's looking. It's got a nice matte sheen to it. Love the look of that oiled wood. Yeah, it's the camera's making it look a little bit lighter than what it is, but it actually looks a bit darker here with the naked eye. Yeah, I'm loving it. My short pieces over here. Let's get them shoved in there. Alright, I quit filming there. I got underneath the truck and fiddled around for about 5 minutes to get this first end bolt started, and realized I had to come up with a different game plan here. So what I got is, I don't have a nut on this one yet. Throw that old t-shirt over there, and I've got my, this is what is it, 1.25 by 3 bar stock. Hold that down, because you go underneath and you can barely get your fingers up in there to get the nut on, and you end up pushing the bolt up out of the hole. Yeah. Alright, so I got my center few boards in, everything but the one that's notched and the 2 edge ones. And I've gone ahead and tightened up probably the 3 or 4 boards in the middle there, so I can get these rest of these edge bolts cut. That middle part should hold the box up where it belongs. I just ran outside and grabbed my my torch was out of propane, and I soon realized why the old waste oil furnace over there hasn't stopped to take a breather all night. 21 below zero tonight, and that's in freedom units for you Canadian folks. Yeah, she's a brisk one. She's sporty out. Alright, got my holes drilled on the sides. I used that extension on my drill so I could get a little straighter angle on the hole. I got a bit of the nuts on, got a lot left to go. But enough in there to keep everything where it belongs. Getting ready to set the wheel tubs in. I blew some paint on the bottom and redid around the perimeter. I used every last drop of that blue paint I had left over from the roll pan. But what I wanted to show you here is going back with some double-sided adhesive foam tape. There was something on there like that I ground off. I suppose that keeps the crap from bleeding up through when you drive in the rain. I'm getting the rest of my hardware put together here. Just going row by row, putting this weighted bar across so I can get the nuts started on the bottom, pick her up with the hoist and sit on my stool, and I got my tray of nuts and washers there. Well, I got all my hardware tightened up. Looking pretty nice. Almost too nice to drill a bunch of holes in and mount the bed. I even went as far as buying a proper 1.5" fastener to sink the washers in. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little something different here. I'll pick the truck up and show you what my plan is. Alright, under the truck here again. For the bed mount bolts, just took a regular 3/8 bolt and dropped it in from the top here. The cross member's got that plate welded across. So this one and the front two, you can do that. This back one is a little different. So what I did here was took a piece of all thread. You gotta fish it up in the hole this way, and you gotta get it way back in this corner, and you can spin it around and you get her sticking out of that hole up there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Well, if you made it this far in the video, thanks a lot. Leave a comment, let me know if you like this longer format or if I should stick to my short and sweet versions. Fucking air compressor. And I'm gonna do another video on how I acquired this truck. Kind of a cool story. It's pretty much done besides for I think I'm gonna put a trim kit on it yet. Although I don't want to pay for it, but it's pretty hammered. So I think it needs it. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.